I went and auditioned, and they said, "Oh, great, come on." And I went, "There's a huge mistake been made here."
A special rendition of the national anthem at Lambeau Field today by Emmy Award-winning actor Craig T. Nelson. Take a listen. Nelson plays the protagonist in Green and Gold, a new film debuting at the end of this month. The film follows a struggling Wisconsin farmer facing foreclosure who places a bet on the Green Bay Packers winning the championship. Friday, Nelson joined members of the cast and crew at a red carpet event in Titletown to talk about the movie. He says all of the roles he's played, this one holds a special place in his heart.
It was meaningful to me just from the standpoint of being able to represent that lifestyle and what who they are, who my ancestors are.
Nelson says his great-grandfather has a farm in South Dakota, and that's part of the reason why this film is so special. He hopes to pay homage to the lifestyle he was raised with, one he says is gradually disappearing. This week